Did you know that some of the largest cities in the United States are on the brink of collapse? It's a startling reality that many of us are unaware of, but it's happening right before our eyes. We're talking about major metropolitan areas, places you see on the news every night facing some seriously scary problems. These aren't just minor issues, they're systemic and deeply rooted in the fabric of these cities. Think about it, man, these systems we rely on, the infrastructure, the economy, it's fragile. The roads we drive on, the bridges we cross, the power lines that keep our lights on, they're all aging and in desperate need of repair. One wrong move and boom, things can go south real fast. A single natural disaster, a sudden economic downturn, or even a significant power outage can send these cities into chaos. Today, we're going to dive deep into the 5 cities that could collapse first. We'll explore the underlying issues that make these cities particularly vulnerable and what the future might hold for them. We're talking about the perfect storm of economic problems, sky-high crime rates, crumbling infrastructure, and yeah, even vulnerability to natural disasters. These factors combine to create a precarious situation that could lead to a complete breakdown. This isn't about fear-mongering, this is about understanding the reality of the situation and, more importantly, how you can prepare. Knowledge is power, and being informed is the first step to taking action. We're going to break it down city by city, looking at the unique challenges each one faces and what those challenges mean for the people who live there. From economic instability to environmental threats, each city has its own set of hurdles to overcome. This is about survival, folks. It's about understanding the risks and taking the necessary steps to protect yourself and your loved ones. So buckle up, because things are about to get real. We're going to take you on a journey through these cities, uncovering the hidden dangers and exploring what can be done to prevent a total collapse. Stay tuned and let's get started. First up, we're heading to the Motor City, Detroit, a city that once stood as a beacon of American industrial power and innovation. Once a symbol of American industrial might, Detroit was the heart of the automotive industry, churning out cars and dreams in equal measure. But over the years, Detroit's been grappling with a shrinking population, a trend that has left entire neighborhoods empty and desolate. Job losses have hit the city hard, with factories closing down and thousands of workers left without a livelihood. The economic struggles have been relentless, and the city's finances have been in shambles for decades. We're talking about a city that's lost over 60% of its population since its peak in the 1950s. Imagine a bustling metropolis reduced to a shadow of its former self. Think about that for a second. That's like 2/3 of the people just gone, leaving behind a city struggling to maintain its identity and infrastructure. The dramatic decrease in urban density has left vast areas of the city looking like ghost towns, with empty streets and abandoned buildings as far as the eye can see. And the people who are left behind, they're dealing with high crime rates, abandoned buildings, and a lack of basic services. It's a tough environment to live in, with many residents feeling forgotten and neglected. The city's infrastructure is crumbling, with potholes, broken streetlights, and neglected parks becoming the norm. Public services are stretched thin, and the quality of life has taken a significant hit. Detroit's a prime example of how quickly things can go bad when the economy tanks. The decline of the auto industry, which the city was built on, has had a ripple effect on every aspect of life here. The auto industry, which Detroit was built on, took a nosedive, and the city's never really recovered. Once thriving auto plants now stand empty, a stark reminder of better days gone by. Despite the challenges, there are efforts to turn things around. Community initiatives and redevelopment projects are underway, aiming to breathe new life into the city. But it's not just the economy. Detroit's problems are multifaceted, with issues that go beyond just financial struggles. Detroit's also got aging infrastructure, like old water pipes and power lines that are just waiting to fail. The city's infrastructure is outdated and in dire need of modernization. When these systems fail, it's not just an inconvenience, it's a crisis. We're talking about potential blackouts, water shortages, and disruptions to daily life that can have far-reaching consequences. And when they do, it's going to be a mess. The aftermath of infrastructure failures can be devastating, with flooded streets, power outages, and a city struggling to cope with the fallout. We're talking about potential blackouts, water shortages, the whole 9 yards. The cascading effects of these issues can disrupt daily life, making it even harder for residents to get by. But amidst all the challenges, there's a resilient spirit in Detroit. Community efforts to rebuild and revitalize the city are ongoing, with urban farming, local businesses, and community events bringing hope and a sense of renewal. Detroit may be a city on the edge, but it's also a city with heart. The spirit of Detroit is alive and well, and the community's determination to overcome adversity is truly inspiring. As we look to the future, there's hope that Detroit can rise again, stronger and more resilient than ever before. The road ahead is tough, but the city's spirit remains unbroken. Next up, we're heading east to Baltimore, Maryland. Now, Baltimore's got a lot going for it. Don't get me wrong, it's got a rich history, a beautiful harbor, but it's also got some deep-seated problems that are threatening to tear it apart. We're talking about poverty, crime, and a serious lack of opportunity, especially in Baltimore's poorest neighborhoods. The gap between the haves and the have-nots is huge, and it's creating a powder keg of tension. You've got some areas that are thriving, and then you've got others that look like they've been forgotten by time. And just like Detroit, Baltimore's dealing with crumbling infrastructure. We're talking about roads full of potholes, bridges that are falling apart, and a sewer system that's constantly overflowing. It's a recipe for disaster, especially when you factor in the increasing risk of extreme weather events like hurricanes and floods. Now let's talk about New Orleans. This city's known for its music, its food, its culture, but it's also one of the most vulnerable cities in the United States when it comes to natural disasters. We all remember Hurricane Katrina, right? That storm devastated New Orleans, and the city's still recovering. But here's the thing, man, New Orleans is sinking, literally sinking. The city's built on land that's slowly disappearing into the Gulf of Mexico. And as sea levels rise due to climate change, the risk of another Katrina-level disaster only grows. And it's not just hurricanes. New Orleans is also prone to flooding from heavy rainfall. The city's drainage system is outdated and overwhelmed, and when it rains hard, New Orleans floods. It's a serious problem that's only getting worse. Now we're heading to the Midwest, to St. Louis, Missouri. St. Louis is another city that's been hit hard by economic decline and population loss. Like Detroit, St. Louis was once a major industrial center, but as manufacturing jobs have disappeared, so have the people, and the people who are left behind are struggling. St. Louis has high rates of poverty, crime, and unemployment. The city's also grappling with a shrinking tax base, which means less money for essential services like police, fire, and infrastructure. And speaking of infrastructure, St. Louis's is in rough shape. We're talking about aging bridges, crumbling roads, and a sewer system that's over 100 years old. It's a disaster waiting to happen. Finally, we come to Cleveland, Ohio. Cleveland's another Rust Belt city that's been through the ringer. The city's lost a significant portion of its population and its industrial base, and it's been struggling to reinvent itself ever since. Cleveland's got some of the same problems as the other cities we've talked about, like poverty, crime, and crumbling infrastructure. But Cleveland's also got a fighting spirit. The city's been making strides in recent years to attract new businesses, revitalize its downtown, and improve the quality of life for its residents. But there's still a long way to go. Cleveland's facing an uphill battle, and it's going to take a lot of hard work and dedication to turn things around. So there you have it, folks. 5 American cities on the brink. Look, this isn't about being negative, it's about being real. We need to face the facts head on. These cities are facing some serious challenges, from economic downturns to crumbling infrastructure, and it's important to be aware of the risks. Staying informed is the first step in making a difference. But here's the good news. Knowledge is power. The more we know, the better equipped we are to handle these issues. By understanding the challenges these cities face, we can start to develop strategies to overcome them. We can start to prepare ourselves and our communities for the future. It's about coming together and finding solutions. Whether it's investing in sustainable infrastructure which can create jobs and improve quality of life, supporting policies that promote economic opportunity, ensuring that everyone has a fair chance to succeed, or simply being prepared for the worst, having emergency plans and supplies ready, we can all do our part to create a more resilient future. It's about building a community that can withstand and recover from adversity. What do you think? Which city do you think is most at risk? Your insights and opinions matter. Let me know in the comments below. Your voice can help spark important conversations. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more thought-provoking content like this. Stay connected and stay engaged. Share this video with your friends and family. Let's get people talking about these important issues. The more people are aware, the better. Let's get people talking about these important issues. Stay informed, stay prepared, and stay safe out there. Together, we can make a difference and build a better future for everyone.